ChatGPT agents are finally here, and today we're going to put them to the test to see if they're going to help you make money online. Because everyone out there is saying that these little ChatGPT AI robots are going to print money faster than ever before. But what's the actual truth? Is this better than Manus AI and other agents available, or is it not as good? Well, today I've actually spent a lot of money testing these tools, and we're going to show you exactly what you need to know so that you don't have to. And not only that, but I'm going to show you exactly how I use AI agents in my business today to put tons of money in my pocket. This is super simple, straightforward, and will help you get where you want to go and build your business super fast. But first, we need to get something out of the way. While these AI agents do look pretty promising, you got to keep in mind that they're not going to go out there and get you money. While they will help us do certain tasks, it's not a guarantee that you'll make anything. In fact, most people trying to make money online with AI and websites and courses and all of that stuff make nothing. So take this with a grain of salt and look at it like a real business. We're going to be using these agents to do tasks that before we had to hire employees to do, took tons of time, effort, and just really overwhelm people. But now, using AI agents the right way, which I'm going to show you in this video, we can actually go through and get tasks done faster, without effort, while we're away, or even sleeping, and come back to something fully done. And this is something I learned back in 2011. Back in 2011, my business was about 11, 12 years old, and I got into outsourcing. That was all the rage back then with the 4-hour work week and all of these books talking about outsourcing your jobs. And what I realized is that by having outsourcers, I could literally multiply the amount of work that I could get done. Where there were little mundane tasks that didn't make money or helped make money but not that much, I was able to get those done super fast. There was also other tasks that I could outsource, like programming and coding and building different tools for my audience that made me even more money. But outsourcing came with a big risk. You had to hire outsourcers for thousands of dollars a month. You had to make sure they were doing their job, and it was a mess. With AI agents, most are like $200. I think ChatGPT's is actually going to come out even cheaper as time goes on. And with these agents, they don't sleep, they don't take breaks, and they work for peanuts. This is actually super important. I've been using these in a very straightforward way, and I'm going to show you exactly how they work. We're going to compare Manus AI and ChatGPT agents and show you exactly which does what, so you know exactly where you're headed in this world of making money with AI. So, come on, let's go to work. All right, so let's put these to the test. AI agents versus chatbots. What's the difference between a regular old chatbot like ChatGPT over here and an agent that is fully functional? Well, first of all, you're going to see this little agent button here, which I believe right now is only on the big kahuna $200 package. It might be rolling out to the cheaper ones, but I'm not sure yet, and I don't know what the price will be. But we want to see, is this actually worth $200 to have this? That was the big discussion when it came to Manus AI. Is it worth $39 for the little package or $200 for the big one? That's what we're going to answer here and take a look at. Now, a chatbot is basically where you could go to a ChatGPT right like this and say, write an article or write a code or a script or a program or something like that, and it'll actually go out and do it one by one. Now, when we get into agentic stuff where it's actually going out there and doing multiple tasks or researching or spending more than just a couple of minutes thinking about something, or even like deeper tiered stuff where it's like, oh, hey, take this list of domains, go look up the price over here, see if there's anything on the domain, check it for errors, come back with a full report. That would be more of like an agentic type thing where what we want to think about is like, what would I actually pay someone to do if they were here doing work in the office? That's the difference between a chatbot writing something and an agent where it's going to go do something else. Now, when we look at agentic stuff, we saw a little bit of it when we got into deep research. If you were to look over here on Gemini, I believe I have my notes up here, you can see that Gemini actually goes through and does deep research. So with Gemini, this is a form of agentic AI or agents where we're going through and saying, okay, now look at all this topic on all these different websites. So instead of just looking at its data, its knowledge that it was trained on, it's actually going out there and looking at various websites. So it does the task of finding the websites, doing the research, figuring out if it fits what I want or doesn't fit what I want. These are the kind of things that we see agentic AI handling. Now, with DeepSeek, Gemini, and anything that's going beyond just here's a one and done search or here's writing an article about this one thing, where it's actually going deeper. Like you can see with deep research here, you're saying like, okay, yeah, it's actually going through like hundreds of different websites, thinking about them and then putting it together the way that I wanted. So it's actually going and saying, okay, looking at these 100 websites, first I have to find them. Second, I need to see if they fit. Third, I need to see if they are talking about something that would tie into what the user actually wants. That's the basic level of agent AI. When we're getting into something like Manus, it gets even deeper where it's like, okay, I want a bunch of different things for this one thing with these specific instructions. This is getting more into like actually having someone hired versus a side hustle. Think about a side hustle like I want someone to write an article, make a little audio script or something like that versus, hey, I want someone to make 100 of these all in sequence, all with the strategic idea of getting this one thing done. That's where we're getting into the difference. And that's where ChatGPT is coming out saying our agent is the big kahuna. It is the thing that works. And going into it detailed, looking at it is key. So now what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, what kind of things can this AI do? When I was messing around with the Manus, I was almost ready to cancel my $200 account, but then I found it did some specific things that made it way worth the money. This is absolutely key because I was able to go out there and have it do several different things. Now, in this example here, what I did is I went through and gave it a list of like 100 and some odd domains and said, I want you to figure out what's on them, figure out what the value is, figure out all these different things about them. Is WordPress on it? Is there 404s? Is it secure? Is it a website? Was it ever sold? Stuff like that. I found that by like number 20, it just started making up domains out of thin air, which, okay, that was kind of a pain, but I did find that using the Manus AI agent for different things like making slideshows and information, that was kind of a game changer. So let's see what this thing can do and let's compare it. So first of all, you could see the examples are like, compare this, compare that, something like that. So we could go out there and say, make 100 reports on the top stocks this year and compare them with the average index earnings on the stock market Dow Jones over the last 50 years. Okay, that'll give us like a tech idea. So what this would do is it would go out there, find those, make reports on it, compare it, and compare to had you invested in other things. So let's see how it does there. Now, you're going to find that with using agents takes substantially longer. It's actually using a browser, it's setting up a desktop, it's using the web. So where you would go through and use ChatGPT and get something done in like 10, 12 minutes at the most, sometimes like 2 or 3 minutes, this is going to go through and it's going to like work for hours, right? It would come back after a couple hours and see how it goes. Much like with Manus, where we were going through and saying, oh, make me this, make me that, look at this list, create this. It's going to come back 2-3 hours later with that analysis. Now we could see here that it's actually going through and it is looking at different websites, seeing what's going on, and it shows you the screen live, which is great. And I think you can actually take over the browser, go in there and say, oh, hey, no, I don't want this, or I do want this. Or even in some cases, it looks like, again, I'm not saying you should, but it looks like they're going to have the ability to actually log in. But notice how it's going in there and it's actually reading and skimming a bunch of different websites. This, again, back in the day, before AI, I would go out there and hire people to create notes for my videos. It would cost $100. It'd take a couple of days, but I'd get a good report. Now we're seeing that business is like pretty much gone, where AI can do that for us. So this is something where you can do a lot more with a lot less people. So we could see it's going through and doing that. Now, when we look at something like Manus AI, some of the things that I did, I had it do the list of domains, which again, it struggled with. I had it make economic slideshows. I had it make sobriety slideshows here with quotes with people, which was pretty cool. This is stuff that I can use in a real world way. Again, it was set and forget. I tell it what to do. I come back. I'm done. Same kind of thing when we had the AI quotes slideshow, right, like this, where they were doing AI quotes. This one came up with hundreds of different quotes, and it worked really well. I think this might have been the skills one, and on we go. Now, some of the other things I wanted to test in this video to show you guys what these can do is, one, I want to give it a bunch of files and see if it'll add something. So let's give it a bunch of images. These are little Pinterest images that we created with our content business. Please add to these something about, so let's see, similar AI tools, because these are all about like AI tools and stuff like that, where it goes through and it's like, oh, here's the best ChatGPT cases and uses and stuff like that. So let's switch over. This is Manus, so this is in the AI agent, and you could toggle back and forth. We'll just use the adaptive, and let's see if it understands it at all. Now, let's also go ahead and give this to ChatGPT and see if the agent on ChatGPT can do this. So we'll give it the same. Okay, so only 10 at a time. That's a limit. Don't like that. I definitely want to do more than 10 at a time, but let's humor it and give it the 10. And we'll give it the same prompt over here and see if it will, in fact, do this. Let's see. Could you please provide me with more text or document the images? So it didn't really understand that I gave it images, which is like, okay, that's kind of not helpful. But at any rate, we'll give it the benefit of the doubt. Let's see if it does that here. And let's see if it understood over here. I'm sorry, I can't see or access the images. Okay, so it does not want to look at the images. Let's see if it'll do it with text. So if I do text here, let's see, let's get this. I got 25 articles over here, or 18 rather. So let's say add tables and Johnson boxes to these articles based on the content. Johnson box on top, and tables where you see fit. And it should start spitting these out pretty quickly, which is good. I'm pretty sure it understands document files. So now we have, I'll search for a list of AI tools similar. The user wants to add them. So ChatGPT is understanding. I think that's kind of a plus. I was actually surprised. I thought it would not understand it. I thought Manus was going to be the bigger of the two. So there's that. Let's also go through and see if it's doing the task here, and I'll open a new Manus and see if we can do a program. So it is actually going through and editing the articles. Let's actually give it a program. This is a plugin I was working on. Actually, you know what? Let's do the tools one. So I have this tools. This is a bunch of AI tools that I created. And what I want to do, where's the tools one? I think I might have to download them. Let's see, where is it? I think it's one of these here. I had a bunch of tools. Let's see. There they are. There you go. Who would have guessed it would be named tools, right? And that's kind of a shocker there. So let's go ahead and get this here. Extract all. And then we're going to take this entire script. And thank you. We will take this entire script. So this is a bunch of tools. So what I want to do here, these tools have my API key, and I want to replace them with a new type of thing. So let's say, let's replace the raw API key with a URL on my site, https blogprofitnetwork.com/ let's just call it like API proxy.com or .php. Okay, and let's see if it'll understand that. I think that would be key. And let's also give this to ChatGPT as an agent and see if it does this too. Because if we could do this, then that's something where I could instead of having a programmer, I could have this go through and do that. So we'll give it the same exact one. So again, only 10 files on ChatGPT. That's limiting because this is a 35 file list. So, that is very limiting. That is frustrating. Like if I was paying $200 for this, which I am, but I'm doing that so that I can show you what's going on, I would be a little disappointed in it. And so far, I'm thinking that ChatGPT is kind of lagging behind. Like OpenAI is lagging from what I can see. They do have some new things coming out with the browsers and stuff, but as far as using it to actually make money, I think it's kind of behind the 8 ball, and it's struggling. So now we could see Manus is already going to work. It's replacing it. Look at that. Boom. Done. And it's actually, I think it's understanding what's going on too. So like, let's see. There it is, understanding with the proxy file. Nice. So it's doing that for me. This one here is adding the tables and Johnson boxes. We'll check that in a minute. ChatGPT, let's give it the same task where we want to replace the raw file. So I'm just going to give it the same prompt and see if it understands it. So here we go. Boom. Again, I'm limited to 10 at a time, which I really don't like. Like the whole point of having an agent is to give it thousands of things and have it be done with it. That's what I want with an agent if I'm going to pay money for it. Manus is doing it. And I did find that like with Manus, their credits, I think people got mad at how their credits worked and they just started giving you a ton of them. So like I'm always having extra credits added in there. I never run out. It seems to be pretty good. So this is actually doing the job. It has the tables, Johnson boxes. It'll probably put them in the doc files as well once it's done. We can see docx. Is it actually adding it in here? Let's take a look. Okay, so did we have it? One of these files over here. There we go. I think it's this one here. Is it the domain authority? Yeah, unlocking SEO authority. So that is the one. And where did it go? There it is. So we have, did it add the Johnson box? It did. I think it added that. And did it add the other stuff? Okay, this might be the older file. Let's wait for it to be done. Yeah, I think it's just got the older files. Johnson box templates. Oh, there it goes. So it actually made the templates first, which is pretty cool. Like that's helpful. I like that. Let's see how ChatGPT is doing. It's still setting up his desktop. He's taking a nap. I don't know what's going on, but not super impressed. Like Manus is already going to work. Again, these are the things that we want to look at and see if it's going to help. Now with this one, if it does add similar AI tools, that will be impressive. So let's let these run for a little bit, and I'll go through some of the things that AI agents can actually help us make money with. Now, I'll have a full breakdown with some tools and links and everything over at AIProfitScoop.com for you. But these are the things that, like, if you're worried about agents taking jobs, these are the jobs it's coming for. First off, we saw with deep research that research and competitive analysis, this was big. DeepSeek, you got your Gemini Deep Research, Notebook LM, ChatGPT Deep Research. These are taking over a lot of the jobs where we used to hire writers. Now we can come on here and get a snippet of it. And if you know what you're looking for, you know what you're doing, I can have one writer that uses AI do the job of 20 writers before. So that's something that's good. Research and competitive analysis. I think like paralegals and stuff like that, this is going to start to change the game for a lot of that because there's a lot of just basic stuff, looking at docs, looking at stats, things like that. High-level financial analysis, OpenAI has specifically claimed the agent can perform tasks like early career investment banking. We're going to see. I mean, this is doing the stock market research, so we'll see how that comes out. Also, administrative and executive assistance. This is where maybe you can go through and have it change code, change text, add a logo, change PLR articles into something that you can sell, create complete courses out of PLR articles. This is stuff that would work really good, or even going out there and doing calendars, setting up Zoom calls, all kinds of stuff like that is really getting into the agent realm of, now I don't need to hire people for this. Sales and HR. I think for sales, this is big because it can help us keep track of stuff. It can automate chats with people. It can actually vet leads before they come to us. Like we're working on a tool right now with an agent where it's going through and it asks people what they want. It deciphers it and then sends the lead to us and runs them through a loop to help them train while we contact them, which is pretty cool. Coding and development, I am finding that with coding, AI is really taking the lead here, where we're programming things in days that used to take, in some cases, like months or years, where now it's very quick. And going through and being able to change stuff like this is absolutely key, where it's replacing that key. And it looks like it did see the key. I don't know if it's actually working and replacing it, but let's see, no raw API keys remain in any files. Okay, nice. So let's take a look at some of those files and see if it did actually replace our API. I'll just take a snapshot here. Kept the integrity of the file, looking good. And let's see, let's do Control F, API. Okay, there it is. It's the URL, and it did actually change all of the stuff around it. So it's not like, hey, here's your API, and I just replaced it with a link. No, it changed the understanding so it knows it's a link. That's pretty cool. Let's double check another one here. So this one here, Control F, API. Gemini API functions. Yes, it did do it. I'm very impressed. This did it on all those files in minutes. ChatGPT, yeah, he's still thinking about it, right? He's still having some trouble here. Let's see, did it even do it? So there's the stocks. So it did the stock analysis. I like the chart. That's cool. This is like a glorified deep research. Let's say if I wanted to use this in my business, I would want now make a slide for each stock. Okay, and I think there's not that many. I asked for 100 and it did not. It just did what it wanted to do, which when it does what it wants to do, I don't like that agent. I want it to do what I tell it to do. Like not just what you want. I want you to do what I tell you to. With the domain list, when it started making some up, that's completely useless to me. I want it to be very, very specific. So going through here, ChatGPT, I'm not super impressed. If I had $200 and I needed an agent, Manus got my money. Big time. Not even a question. We're already got stuff working, whereas this is still thinking. It's going. I mean, it is. Let's see if we can see what file it's on. I'll inspect them. I like that you can see the computer. That's kind of cool. So niche vision. It's got these. I don't like, especially if they go to a price per credit model, I don't like that I don't get an example. With Manus, boom, it gives me a couple of examples even while it's working, so I can stop it and say, no, go back and do this. Those are things that are kind of interesting. Here's one where I had it like do a domain list with CSVs, filter them out. That was kind of cool. And it did all right. Right? It struggled, but it did okay. With ChatGPT, let's see. It's still going. We'll see how that works. Now, going through here, what's the reality versus an assistant versus a replacement? First of all, it's crucial to note that while an agent can perform the tasks, we're seeing that it's kind of like a junior intern, not like, okay, this is a PhD level kind of thing. A lot of things people are reporting and things I've seen as well, lack of reliability. When you get into hallucinations, basically what you're doing is AI at scale. That's what agent is. It's an AI at scale where it's going out there and doing all these things. When it's hallucinating, you might notice that 1 every 100 files or 1 every 100 tasks with ChatGPT, whereas with agents, you're getting that amount a lot quicker, so you're going to see a lot of hallucinations, a lot of issues, and things like that. Slowness, yes, it is taking a long time. Need for oversight, 100%. Like you have to oversee AI with basic, so when you get into agentic, yeah, you totally need to oversee it. Long-term vision, I think it's going to get big. The fact that ChatGPT is like, we're going to make $20,000 agents. Yeah, we're not even close to that yet. I ain't giving anyone 21 grand or 20 grand for stuff like this. Not even close. For software development, I mean, if you know what you're doing, I think I think I could be faster and more reliable one-to-one versus having an agent do it. Now, having it replace all of those PHPs, yeah, that was cool. Having it add these Johnson box, yeah, that'll work. And let's see if any of these are done. Enhanced Article 4. There's our quick summary Johnson box. There's our tables. It's kind of kicking butt with this. I like it. That's something where we can go through and have, double pass AI. I get the content, I have it fix the content, boom, I got something ready to go. Going through with the images, again, it's still struggling with this. Maybe we'll come back and take a look at it later. Okay, so now it's making a slide. So it's creating some images there, or a slideshow. Manus with slideshows, game changer. Super fast, super good, programs, makes good quality, vivid stuff. I really like this for slideshows. ChatGPT, to be determined. We're going to wait on that and see how it comes out. Let's see how we're looking here. Manus is definitely 1,000 times faster. So that's pretty cool. Now, what do I want when I'm looking at an AI agent? First of all, I want reliable tasks that are super focused. Add this, compile this, change this across all 100 files. I don't want a 10-file limit. That's going to make it, I might as well just do them one at a time. It's probably going to be faster. I want a congruent thinking process. If I give it one example, I want you to add this in this way. It should do it on every file, taking into account what that file is about. If it's on a program, I want it to think this certain way. Replace this, add this logic, change this. Those are things that here in my business are going to make a big, big deal, where it's going to, have that programmatic thinking, that level 1, level 2, level 3, building on them as you go. Maybe if I say, writing an article, first research. Second, find out how it relates to this other thing. Third, find out how the intent works. Fourth, create a table of contents. Fifth, make sure it passes plagiarism or whatever it is, and have that. That's what we really want with an agent. And doing that, if you know how to prompt right and you know how to use agents, I think it can be a game changer in terms of making money. Again, remember, an agent isn't going to make money for you. It's what you do with it. It's how you understand it. It's how you're using it to build that thing that you want. Super important to understand that the vast majority of people make nothing because they don't understand how to use the tools. It's those who understand how to use the tools and what they're using for that's going to help them. Intro data, I want to be able to have introduction stuff where it can make that at scale. Okay, how can I get the introduction? Boom. How can I give it 100 ideas and say, with these ideas, I want you to do X, Y, Z. Okay, super important. Also, can it program multiple files or even full scripts? I found that with Manus, I can create full-on scripts. They work like crazy. Super important. Can it add multiple files and create like a directory site? Can it change many things at once? Can it do specific research, slideshows, video tools, or even down the line, can it create full videos for us? It's kind of where we're going to get with this stuff, and I think this is going to be super, super good. Now, using ChatGPT, again, super slow, but it is understanding things. It looks like it's saving an image. So I don't know where we find the image. Okay, maybe it'll come up. Maybe I gave it too many with the 10 or whatever. But let's see if it's doing that here. And we'll probably come back and take a look. So we'll take a break. We'll come back. Manus is already done with its work. It did not understand the image one, though. So that was kind of a pain. With the articles, it did. I can have it turn the articles into images. Now make a slideshow show for these. I can do that, but it didn't look like it wanted to actually change the images for me. So we'll come back, see how this goes, and give it the final test. All right, so here we are about 45 minutes later, and we can see that ChatGPT did the slideshow on the stock market stuff. We can see what it looks like here. Let's go ahead and open the big version. And we could see, okay, it's got a couple of things here. Nothing super good. I mean, it does have the year-to-date return, stuff like that. I don't know if it's hallucinating or anything. It would be definitely good to double check these. but this is pretty much not usable content. I mean, maybe I could give it a better instruction, but you would think it would do better. Like giving this to Manus, it would do more, it would think deeper, it would get better stuff. This one not really doing it the right way, so it's kind of struggling. Now with the image one, where I got kind of excited that it was going to add all the different AI tools to our images, it just went through and made one image. So like this is pretty much all I got, is this little similar AI tools image. It did not change all the images the way I wanted. So as far as agent capabilities, I think ChatGPT is way behind the 8 ball. I'm still going to continue to use Manus for stuff like that. It looks like they kind of rushed it out. Not a big fan. So yeah, in terms of building stuff for the business that I have here and making it work with AI agents, Manus for the win. ChatGPT leaving a lot to be desired. It did replace the API key, but again, it only did 10 files, where the other one did a lot more. And we can see here, out of the 10, it really only did like 4. So it's definitely not reliable. With Manus over here, let's see that one. So that did 4. That's the ChatGPT one. Let's see how many Manus did with the raw API key. So on this, updated PHP files, let's go ahead and view files. It did do all of them. So, I mean, yeah, you do the math. Manus is definitely a better agent as far as I'm concerned for what I want to do. So if you want to see more videos on how we use these AI tools to make money and build businesses and everything, let me know as a comment below. I know this is different from my normal video where we usually teach a strategy. This is more looking at tools. If you want to see more like that, let me know as a comment. Thanks for watching. Check out the videos in the description. Get the notes at AIProfitScoop.com. Smash that like button, and I'll see you in the next video.